Hey guys, it's Sora1. Sorry for being so late. If you don't know the story, my PC broke down and I was powerless to do anything like make videos off of this trailer or anything. But my boy SkywardWing came in clutch and helped me out. I am forever grateful. Please check out his channel when you get the chance, although I'm sure many of you guys already know him. Send him some love for being one of the only reasons this video could even happen at all. Alright, so like I was saying, a new Kingdom Hearts 2.8 trailer came out for TGS, and boy is it a good one. I love it, and at first I didn't think there was much to analyze and this would be fairly short, but judging by the length of this video, I'm sure you can tell there's quite a lot to be seen. So I'll break down the trailer bit by bit and give you any hidden details, thoughts, and explanations that I have. With that, let's get started. Roll the trailer. Now I just want you to really remember, these CGI scenes here are very conceptual in nature, and perceived meanings we find here may lead to nothing. I'll still go ahead and go through it all and analyze it per se, but remember that nothing that comes from these scenes should be considered even close to concrete. So the trailer begins with young Sora, Riku, and Kairi playing on the beach. These CG models are based off their young designs we saw a bit of in Kingdom Hearts 1 and a lot more in Birth by Sleep. Now they just look so much nicer, like ugh! Also, going in the water with shoes, really guys? I guess that has been a thing forever though. And also, why does Riku gotta be that jerk that splashes water on everyone when they're not even used to the temperature yet? Come on, man. Anyways, if you listened to the trailer before, you would know that there's a brand new simple and clean remix playing called the Ray of Hope remix. Now, I'm not going to be playing that all over, and I'm trying to leave as much of that out as possible just because of potential copyright, but it does sound great. Nomura confirmed in his Twitter message that yes, the remix we hear in the trailer will be what we hear in 0.2's actual intro. Speaking of 0.2's intro, yes, what we've been seeing so far is all newly animated CGI to serve as the intro to that game. Really nice actually, I didn't really expect them to go that hard with it. Now the question is, what kind of intro would back cover get? Anyways, Sora reaching down in the water to see Aqua down below hopeless is symbolism, and just reads out the message that while Sora, Riku, and Kairi were all growing up living a happy life, the BBS trio was already suffering. Judging by Kairi's outfit, it seems like the mayor brought her to Destiny Islands not too long after Birth by Sleep ended, but remember, CG intro, so don't take it too terribly seriously. As it moves down, we see Aqua standing on water. Get it? Cause her name? She's holding her Wayfinder. We'll be seeing these Wayfinder charms a lot. The metallic look of them in CG looks so good though. She leans back and falls. This Aqua falling scene is a parallel to Aqua's falling in the actual Birth by Sleep intro. In the Birth by Sleep intro, as she falls, she sees Ventus's dive to the heart and watches it break in two as symbolism for Ventus's fractured heart and the whole Vanitas situation. This time though, she just sees a completed Sora heart, likely symbolizing that Ventus resides within that. Now the trailer transitions back to showing the three main features of this collection with high speed cuts. It starts with Dream Drop Distance. Cool, I guess. Anyway, soon after 0.2 scenes come, and this is where we're gonna stop and slow it down. First we see a scene of Riku, Mickey, and Kairi. Let's take this moment to talk about the graphics. The graphics in 0.2 have been significantly upgraded since even the last time we saw it at E3 2016. The lighting is so much better, hair looks more sleek, detailed, and has streaks. Any zippers on clothing now actually look metallic instead of the Play-Doh zippers we used to get. Riku is still missing his blue on his outfit, but I mean, whatever. And this graphics upgrade applies to all the new footage we'll be seeing for the rest of this trailer. I love that you can finally see the shininess of metals, and character skin is finally starting to look like skin instead of clay or whatever. As it is now, the graphics are finally beginning to resemble the CG models that we've been seeing for years. Now, I've been saying forever, like really, look at this old video, that the graphical style of Kingdom Shader is perfect and is able to take the look of the CG models and give them that Disney look as a sort of blend, and my word from then still stands today. It's just now we are finally beginning to see some of the results of what I thought from before, and I'm so glad that they know what they're doing. Now, I'm not done with graphics yet. Interestingly, in Nomura's message he released on Twitter alongside the trailer, he said the TGS playable booths for 2.8 will be in the same graphical style as they were at E3 2016. But looking at the footage that came out, it's a little bit questionable. The footage from TGS compared to previous demo builds looks considerably better with lighting, and we can see the difference clearly. Now bear in mind, these pictures were taken with different cameras at different angles, with different lighting at different places, so the difference probably isn't as crazy dramatic as these pictures may lead you to believe. It's not like the E3 build looked like garbage or anything. But I can't deny that there's definitely something that looks a lot better about the TGS build, despite Nomura saying it is the same. Anyways, let's not get too off track. Back to the trailer. Next, we see a shot of Aqua standing in front of Castle of Dreams. Reminds me a lot of a similar scene in the secret ending of Birth by Sleep Final Mix, but this one looks a lot more detailed, of course. Here, we got a nice close-up of Aqua, which is always welcomed. You can tell by the way the building looks in the back that whatever this scene is also taking place in the Castle of Dreams area. It cuts to Aqua hitting one of the gears to turn back time, and of course the clock and the stairs where she runs into the illusion of Terra, a bunch of Castle of Dreams stuff. Now here's where things change. She sees Ventus in a coffin, which is obviously reminiscent of Snow White, and it will probably end up being another illusion or something. More importantly, that means the area she's in has likely changed to be Dwarf Woodlands, something we'll be talking about and seeing more of later. Now we see Aqua pass this demolished looking room, which is presumably the room that hosts the magic mirror. Pillars in other areas look sort of similar, just dramatically more detailed than the room looks in Birth by Sleep. The Realm of Darkness has really made this place a wreck, man. And one last thing to note, Aqua is looking into the mirror, probably the magic mirror, and you can see that it reflects everything except for her own reflection. This could very well play into that reflection we see later on. And lastly, for 0.2, we see a shot of Aqua in a brand new area. We can see these sort of thorny looking things on the ground, and you know, I'll come back to more on this later. Now it's on to the little back cover montage. I just want to warn you, yes, I will be bringing up scenes from the Kingdom Hearts key games we already have and talking about how those can fit in here. So if you don't want to hear that kind of stuff, feel free to skip this part of this video. I will not be putting up annotations to skip every single back cover segment this time around because the trailer likes to jump between different games frequently, and I feel like the pause annotations will get annoying sooner or later. So just for this video, feel free to skip anything you don't want to see yourself. My apologies for no annotations. Alright, first we get a nice shot of the Daybreak Town clock tower. Nothing really to see here unless you want to go into how the hands on the clock form an X for some Xehanort symbolism. Oh my god. Nah, let's just move on. We get to revisit the scene with Ira speaking with the Master of Masters that we saw in the last trailer. I remember when Nomura first said in an interview that the Hooded Man is the Master of Masters and we all went, what? But it's true, the guy here is definitely the Master of Masters after watching this trailer. Kind of weird how he sounds so carefree and even like young, isn't it?
Not possible.
Next, we see a bunch of wielders getting ready to fight a dark side. I'm fairly sure that this scene is something similar to the tutorial scene of Kingdom Hearts Key and Unchained Key, where your union leader introduces you to the concept of teamwork to defeat a raid boss. We can tell none of these guys are experienced because just look at those starlights. These scrubs clearly haven't gotten good yet, so again it leads me to believe this is a beginning game scene. The next scene we see is what I believe to be an old Key scene brought to life in back cover. All 5 foretellers are in a room facing the Hooded Man. We don't know if this is the Master or Lushu, but I'm willing to bet that this is the Master with the way everyone's demeanor is. It looks like he's speaking to them as a group, like a Master would. In Kingdom Hearts Key, a Kirathi briefly shows your character a dream, where you get a glimpse of this room inside the clock tower and see all 5 foretellers speaking to a hooded man, very similar to what we see here. In the past, I speculated that the conversation here could be them all talking to him about a potential traitor, because last year's Jump Festa trailer conceptually showed 5 foretellers having a conversation, this exact room being shown off, and a 6th unknown voice speaking with them. So it all fits, except the unknown 6th voice that we heard at last year's Jump Festa trailer sounds nothing like the Master of Masters we know of today. Either they changed his voice since the trailer was considerably earlier than it is now, or this is someone entirely different, or perhaps even a completely different conversation.
誰が裏切り者であっても対処が冷徹にな。
たった7人じゃ世界中の人々なんて救えないだろう。
But if there is one thing I am fairly certain about, it's that this scene here is the same scene in Kingdom Hearts Key that your player gets a glimpse of in their dream. It has to be. What I'm uncertain about now is if the dialogue said here will be anything like in that Jump Festa trailer. We'll have to wait and see. Next, we get a glimpse of a hooded man looking at Kirithi that is in some sort of flask or container thing. I don't know scientific terms, okay? Beaker, test tube, whatever the thing is, you get the point. It's pretty obvious what this one is. In Kingdom Hearts Key, your Kirithi tells you about how he was born when the Master of Masters created him. The Master of Masters is the one who created all Kirithi, and this is simply showing one being born for the first time in that sweet HD. Hey look, it's that fountain scene from the last trailer. Here's another one that we can guess is from a scene that existed in the last trailer. When Ira is investigating his book of prophecies, he's with Envy in a room like this. Seems like just another point of view for that scene. Now this is something new and interesting. Black coated figure holding Master Xehanort's Keyblade. It's pretty safe to assume that this is our first time ever seeing Luxu in a trailer, as we know he is the wielder of that Keyblade in this time period, and perhaps the original wielder altogether. One more clock tower scene here. Envy takes the mask off of her face, what? As she is talking to someone in a black coat. I get the vibe she's showing respect to this person she's talking to, so off of demeanor alone, again, I would say this guy in the scene is the Master of Masters, but who really knows? Why is she having this private conversation with him? We won't know for now, but I will say, and you'll see later on, Envy over the course of this trailer has been quite suspicious. And the last two are completely older scenes, just rehashed. And we're back to our beautiful CGI scenes for one last time. More wayfinders, more symbolism about the events of Birth by Sleep and Aqua's point of view. Here's where it gets interesting. The two wayfinders spiral off and become these dark, heart-looking things. More of them appear and they fly all over the chairs in the room where nothing gathers, a room where Organization 13 used to have meetings in, and where we were first introduced to the true Organization 13 in Kingdom Hearts 3D. Again, this is a CGI opening, so we gotta look at it conceptually and take it with a grain of salt. Does it mean Ventus and Terra are confirmed Seekers of Darkness for Kingdom Hearts 3? No, not necessarily, but it's an interesting animation for sure. If we go all the way to the final frame of this weird heart scene and pause, we can count 10 of these hearts floating around, and I wouldn't be surprised if in the final intro we see 13 of these going over each of the seats or something. More symbolism for the Birth by Sleep trio's fate by the end of their game here. It's really cool. Both Terra Xehanort and Ventus Vanitas are boss battles Aqua had to fight in Birth by Sleep, and having them acknowledge these kinds of things in a cool new intro is always nice. Now we hop on back to Dream Drop Distance. Yay! Your boy is not analyzing cutscenes that already have a full game about them out! But I will briefly look at the Dream Drop Distance gameplay. First thing you'll notice, the drop gauge is nowhere to be found on the HUD. Now in interviews, the team has definitely said they are reworking the drop system, but we really have no idea what it means. If you remember, in the previous E3 2016 demo gameplay, there was always a drop meter still present, even in battle. If I had to take a guess, I think they are reworking the drop gauge so that it will disappear when your commands are in battle mode. That way you will never be forced to drop during battle and you can fight bosses in peace. But that's only a guess, since all of the Dream Drop Distance gameplay we get in this trailer has one thing in common. Sora and Riku are always fighting something. It's never just a safe exploration time. This drop revision would be a welcome addition if it proves to be true. If we looked at both the English and Japanese 2.8 trailers, the gameplay is actually separately recorded again. But this time it feels like Square did a really good job at trying to make sure the English and Japanese really don't have any differences. The biggest difference I find in the Dream Drop Distance gameplay is Riku and Symphony of Sorcery being in two different locations, and the Japanese Riku earns drop points for his efforts while the English version Riku does not. Troll Enix strikes again for favoring Japan over us. Alright, back to that sweet 0.2. We get to see the full scene of Aqua in Dwarf Woodlands as she sees Ventus in Cinderella's coffin. I must say Ventus is looking fantastic, no complaints. Now, remember how in the old trailer when Terra showed up, everyone went crazy with theories and it was such a shocking moment? Well, for this Ventus one, I see none of that, and I think everyone is pretty much on the same page of, it's probably just another illusion. Kind of funny, but I agree, I also think it's probably just some illusion. Aqua, what is the realm of darkness doing to you, girl? Oh, the reflection is so sad.
Is there any bonds I can Only your heart is hollow enough to be a demon's.
Okay, and it's got a mouth on it too. Calling someone a demon? Hello, who does that? This is Kingdom Hearts. Interesting to note, the English version of this has that infamous demon line, but the Japanese mirror Aqua says some completely different lines. They are more so lines about regrets Aqua had to try and guilt trip her or something. Nothing too drastically different though. Also, if you look around, it looks like Aqua is already within the magic mirror world at this time. So if I had to guess, I would say this scene is taking place, of course, before a boss battle with this other Aqua, but after you explore the inside of the mirror, and this portal here could be the exit, which is where the other Aqua is coming in to stop you from leaving and, I don't know, try to get you to die from self-pity or something.
That's not true. My heart is strong. I'll prove it.
Now we are on to back cover. The Master of Masters is talking to Ira. This is almost definitely an extension to the scene we saw in the E3 trailer here. They are still talking about the war here, but this time the dialogue is...
Are you telling me that you think the world can be saved by just 7 people?
We have to at least try.
Now this is really intriguing. 7 people? That makes us all think 7 lights almost immediately, right? Like no brainer. And if it is about the 7 lights, how and why in the world are they talking about that? I know the Book of Prophecies tells the future, but come on, why worry about a problem 100 years in the future when a war is about to happen here in this time? Exactly, I think they are not talking about the 7 lights in the future, but are talking about the Keyblade War that is bound to happen right here at the end of back cover. It's also evidenced by Ira saying, we have to at least try. We. If he's talking about himself and the Master trying something, he's most likely not talking about 7 lights fighting some old guy in the future. They are talking about the war here and now. So what 7 people do I think they're talking about then? Easy. The only 7 people here in this world that would have any chance of stopping the war. The 7 most powerful beings that exist in this world, period. So that would be the 5 foretellers, of course, the Master of Masters himself, and the 6th student, Luciu. The 7 most powerful people in all of Kingdom Hearts Key. If they all came to some agreement, the war could be stopped, and that is what Ira is trying to say here. But the Master, in both trailers now, really insists that this war cannot be stopped. In fact, I'm beginning to think the Master planned this war out from the beginning the moment he gave them the Book of Prophecies, in order to forge the Keyblade for himself, or something like that. Getting all these forces to clash like this. That's just me throwing out ideas though, but it's like he's playing a big puppet show so he can collect his prize at the end. But this is only assuming the Master or anyone else doesn't already have an existing Keyblade somewhere. I'm watching you, Master. You're extremely sus. Next back cover scene.
I want the 3 of us to form an alliance.
But alliances are forbidden, Aced.
So, Aced wants to form an alliance with Ava and... who? Well, judging by the scenery, the only likely candidate would be Gula. But I mean, Ava only arrives to the scene after Gula gets beat up by Aced. So her being there that late, Aced is asking to form an alliance with Gula after he fights him? Join my alliance or I'll beat you up! Oh, Aced, you are a funny guy, aren't you? Another note though, alliances are forbidden, Aced. Presumably, it is the Master of Masters that forbids an alliance between unions. Who else? So, the Master of Masters doesn't want these guys working together in one alliance. Again, what is up with this man? Next, we see Gula lurking all alone saying trust no one but himself. I don't know if Aced just scarred this poor man for life or if he's actually up to no good. What makes this scene interesting though is that the Japanese translation of this part is slightly different.
俺の使命を果たす時だ
He doesn't say trust no one but myself, but instead says it's time to fulfill my mission. And last for back cover here, we see Envy saying something will lead to the Keyblade War. I don't know what she's talking about, but the suspicious vibes in her tone, I swear. Hey, now we finally get to move on to some gameplay. It starts out with Aqua going past some railroad tracks down a hill. Now you'll notice behind her is a trail of sparkles. She must have been doing some kind of flow motion or had Spellweaver lingering on her or something, because in the Japanese version, those sparkles are nowhere to be found. Something's up. Also, the scenery here in general obviously resembles the mines in Dwarf Woodlands, keeping that Dwarf Woodlands theme of this trailer going strong. As Aqua is doing the parkour and sliding down the hill, we again see auto-lock targets on the barrels as she passes down. When we get to the combat, you'll notice that the enemies that she's fighting actually resemble the enemies in the Kingdom Hearts 3 E3 2015 trailer. Neat. Aqua casts Blizzaga on them until she's out of MP. After about 3 of these Blizzaga spells, the option appears for her to activate Blizzagun, a new command. The way it appears is the same way the Spellweaver prompt appeared in the E3 trailer, except this time we see a standing by message appear as well, with little PlayStation triangles surrounding it. Also, shout out to our first sighting of MP Charge. Similarly, in the Japanese trailer we see Aqua cast a few spells and a prompt comes up. This time though, it translates to Blizzagun and Fire-Gun, and she has the option for both. I would guess that these appear at the end of your combos, and whether you use a lot of Fire-Gun or Blizzaga spells in your combos, you would get the option to appear. Or if you're mixing it up, you would get multiple like it's shown here. Whether Blizzagun or Fire-Gun is some sort of command style or just an attack, I can't tell. The timer barely starts on the Japanese gameplay, and I can't see anything significant happening after her Thundaga spell, so we'll have to wait and see what it looks like. The only time Blizzagun and Fire-Gun ever appeared in Kingdom Hearts as attacks to my knowledge was during the reaction commands for the Volcanic and Blizzard Lords in Kingdom Hearts 2. But there's no way that Aqua's about to grab a giant Heartless and throw it around, so again, we'll have to wait and see what it really looks like. We can also see in the trailer that enemies give experience, and Aqua has an experience count confirmed that we will be able to level up. And man, 749 experience, that's some like mid to end game type experience points right there. Things are powerful here. One last super interesting thing for this area that I caught is in the Japanese only version of the trailer. When Aqua enters the battle, we see a challenge indicator.
A challenge, is it?
No, it's not an information indicator, but challenge, and the command menu is still orange yellowish, so that means this isn't a required fight here. I believe that this challenge indicator here is our first insight at replay value for 0.2. I imagine as you go through the world, various challenges appear, and if you complete them all, maybe you get some PlayStation trophies, items, or the like. You know, something a little extra to play with besides just the story path. It's pretty cool. Next, we get a glimpse of Aqua at the Magic Mirror boss battle. Notice how the command menu is red now, indicating that yes, this is a required fight, a boss battle. The Aquas separate and surround the real Aqua, very similarly to how the Magic Mirror boss battle goes in BBS, and they all shoot some kind of magic orb attack at her as she uses the barrier to shield it. When Aqua attacks the boss, we get a nice stagger. Staggering bosses in Kingdom Hearts? What? I thought that was dead after Dream Drop Distance. Oh! But no, really, it's nice. Now, there's no way to see if there's any type of KH2 like revenge value system in place here, as Aqua doesn't even do a complete combo on her before it cuts. She just does 4 attacks, and unless there is some kind of finishing plus involved here, there were no finishers used, since we see later in the trailer that Aqua's full combo consists of 5 attacks. Speaking of that area, next we see this place with a lot of pillars. I would guess this is some kind of puzzle with finding the right pillar to turn things upside down and find an exit or something. Judging by how the scenery looks, I would guess that this is when Aqua is in the Magic Mirror, but also because I said earlier that I think the Aqua boss is at the end of the Magic Mirror segment, that would mean I think that this puzzle takes place before the boss while you were looking for a way out, or something along those lines. As we see Aqua attack the pillar, we get the best example of a basic combo from her. Now, like I said, Aqua's combo speed isn't the best and may seem like it has those pauses, but I'm okay with that if that's simply Aqua's fighting style. Like I said in previous videos, Aqua is more of a magic fighter anyway. But whenever we get to see Sora in Kingdom Hearts 3 fighting again, I hope he has some fierce, fluid combos. Anyways, Aqua activating her finisher on the pillar is what makes the pillar open and turn the world upside down, and oh boy, I'm getting Rinsler flashbacks already. Anyways, the way this little puzzle worked is similar to the gears from the E3 demo. Aqua has to land a finisher to make something happen. There is a treasure chest that she just blatantly ignores and continues onward without. I mean, come on Aqua, it's right there! At least the Japanese trailer had the decency to not have the triangle prompt appear so it doesn't taunt you as much.
We don't even know who the traitor is yet!
Did you see it? Right as the song says, "Hold me," Aced grabs Gula. I find it mildly amusing.
We don't.
But other than that, I already spoke about this scene before. In the Alliance part, Aced is just being his aggressive self regarding the traitor. Next, we have Ava and Envy talking alone. Ava is saying something that Envy is doing could be making things worse than they already are. Of course, I assume she means in regards to the Keyblade War happening and the tension between unions. I don't know what Envy is doing. In fact, Envy is the foreteller out of the 5 that I'd say we know the least about. So I'm very interested to find out what this is.
Guess you better get started then. Unfortunately, you'll have to go alone from here on.
What about the others?
And now the most interesting back cover scene. The Master of Masters talking to Luxu. This again seems to be the clock tower room, and the Master of Masters appears to be touching the Book of Prophecies. Maybe it's the Master in this scene who rips out the lost page and is the one who gives it to Luxu for his mission. Luxu is also holding out his Keyblade for some reason, almost as if the Master just gave it to him or something. There's no way to tell if Luxu always had this Keyblade or just received it in this scene. Let's talk about Luxu then, shall we? First off, his voice and tone. He sounds like he's so concerned about the other foretellers, his friends. This heavily contrasts how we see him in Kingdom Hearts Key when he encounters Ava near the end. He seems completely carefree and just plans to watch the war pan out and complete his mission. Why the radical change in personality? What could the Master have said to him to make him just stop caring like that? Also, maybe I'm just crazy again, but this man Luxu sounds just like young Ericus in English.
What about the others? Who's to say I can't change it? And maybe light will prevail. There's more to light than meets the eye. You might be surprised.
Now, I've had this suspicion for a good month or two now, but I'm starting to believe that the Master giving all but one of his students a Book of Prophecies isn't a symbol of Luxu failing or being bad, but perhaps Luxu is the Master's favorite student of them all. The Master maybe gave them all these books and destined them to all die in this upcoming war, while he gave his favorite student, Luxu, a different mission to survive and carry on after the war. What this all leads to, I'm not sure, but it's interesting to think about. And now that we have close-ups of both of these guys, we get to see that they do indeed have the same exact zipper. That's strange because in Kingdom Hearts Key, whenever the Master of Masters is shown, he's shown with a rectangular zipper, while Luxu has more of a pointed one. Maybe they only did that to differentiate them in that art style, I don't know. Another interesting side note, in English the Master says, "I guess you'll have to go alone from here on out." But in Japanese, it roughly translated to,
君は他の5人とは違って先の時代に進んでもらわなきゃいけない。
Now, I know the message is nearly the same, but this strengthens the possibility that the Master of Masters was planning for all 5 foretellers to clash and die all along, like I suggested earlier. Now we're getting near the end, and we see Aqua fading to the darkness, giving up, dropping her Wayfinder. When, surprise surprise, Mickey comes around to give her her Wayfinder back and save her. The background looks like a generic Realm of Darkness. We can't tell what world it would be in. Now, what's great about this clip is we finally do get to see Mickey in the Realm of Darkness. Thanks to his outfit, we can actually pinpoint where this is in the Kingdom Hearts timeline. Well, with a good amount of confidence, but of course not 100%. We know that at the end of Kingdom Hearts 1, Mickey stays behind the door and therefore is in the Realm of Darkness. From what we can see, Mickey's outfit here looks like his Chain of Memories outfit. So I already have said this before in a previous video, but I will reiterate this again for this analysis. Mickey is wearing his Chain of Memories outfit. If you'll remember, Mickey frequently appeared in Riku's Reverse Rebirth storyline in Chain of Memories. Now here's the kicker. Mickey sometimes was only able to communicate by sending his light over to Riku, but he was not physically there until the end. I think this is because while Mickey was sending these light signals out to Riku in Chain of Memories to help him, he was busy in the Realm of Darkness helping Aqua out with what she was going through. Mickey was multitasking between helping Aqua and Riku all during Chain of Memories until he finally met up with Riku in person at the end.
Sorry I couldn't come here sooner, Riku.
Your Majesty, is it you?
This is what I believe, and I think it seems like a solid idea. With that said, let's move on to the final scene. Aqua is in an area with many dark sides, and she says,
Okay then.
What was that?
Okay then.
Huh? I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
Okay then.
Okay, Ven? Yeah, a lot of people since the trailer was released have been making crazy Ventus theories because of it sounding like she says, okay, Ven. Even though the Japanese one says nothing of that sort, this trailer has had its fair share of Japanese to English discrepancies that it doesn't make it too unbelievable that they would slip in okay Ven in there. Until that is, we prove it. Prove what she's saying, and yes, there is a way to do that. On the official Kingdom Hearts Twitter, they tweeted out a video of the trailer, except this version has subtitles for everything in the trailer. Now let's skip to the end, and
Okay then.
bam! It says okay then, not okay then. Sorry all you Ventus theorists out there. Other than that, if we take a look at the environment, we see all these thorny shapes, almost reminiscent of Maleficent's thorns. And if we take a look at the very back, we see a castle that looks similar enough to be the Enchanted Dominion castle. So we can speculate that what we see here may be a third world for 0.2, that of Enchanted Dominion. This would make a lot of sense and give 0.2 three distinct worlds that coincidentally are the first main three worlds for Aqua's story in Birth by Sleep. In Birth by Sleep, if you remember, Aqua first goes to Castle of Dreams, second goes to Dwarf Woodlands, and third goes to Enchanted Dominion. So it looks like this makes perfect sense. With 0.2's supposed length, I think making Enchanted Dominion the final third world to visit sounds perfect. Now let's talk about what these dark sides are doing. I like to joke around and call this the Spirit Bomb, but what is it really? In Kingdom Hearts 1, Darkseid has an attack where he gathers energy to create an orange orb and sends it off into the sky to make it rain with a bunch of smaller orbs. It looks like this is the exact attack all these dark sides are doing, except they aren't making it rain this time, they're putting it all into one massive force. Now this could be an attack, or it could be some sort of portal. On Destiny Islands, before Sora gets sucked away into Traverse Town, the darkness that was consuming the world acted as a portal to transfer Sora, and the portal looks suspiciously similar to this orb we see in this trailer. Remember how everyone says Mickey better have a good excuse for leaving Aqua here? I'm just coming up with a random idea, but what if Mickey was with Aqua the whole time, and then in this dark side fight, he ends up getting sucked up into that portal and forced out of the Realm of Darkness, and for some reason Aqua stays? I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud. That is, if Mickey's present in this area at all. And with that, our beautiful trailer ends. And oh look, a delay! I don't mind it much, it's only a month and it isn't really a big deal to me. I'm not upset about it or anything like that. 2.8 will come around when it comes. The Japanese release date is 12 days earlier than the English, so no, I won't be having to import it since it is close enough, but I will have to steer clear of the internet for a small bit. Manageable though. Also, who the heck is Square Renix, and why are they on this page? I'm just messing around. Anyways, I've been Sora All in One. Thank you so much for watching this all the way through. Any support you can give this video through a like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, anything, I really appreciate it. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.